In time, you will know what it's like to lose. To feel so desperately that you're right, but to fail all the same. Dread it. Run from it. Destiny still arrives.
What is happening, Magnus sites? I know you've been waiting for this. Spoiler time. So if you are a complete idiot, you shouldn't watch this if you do not want to know what happens in the movie. All right. So the big question that everyone's been asking me, like over and over and over and over and over again, did you like Captain Marvel in this movie? She was all right to me. I didn't have a problem with her in the movie. In the beginning of the movie, when Tony is floating out in space, she shows up like an angel to save him. Okay, I assume this is after she meets up in the post-credit scene at the end of her movie, and she talks to the Avengers. I assume she probably went out looking for him and found him, along with Nebula. So, she was in there very little. When she shows up, she has long hair, and she brings the ship in with Tony and Nebula, and he meets up with the Avengers and everything. After that, they go to, and these spoiler talk isn't going to be all in order. I'm just jumping all over the place. Right now, I'm talking about Captain Marvel. When they go to look for Thanos, she puts him in a chokehold. Okay, she's out there with them. She does some recon on the planet that he's on, and it's just him. So she goes down there, you know what I'm saying, energy to the face, busts through into his house, puts him in the motherfucking chokehold. And then you see her a little bit later after that, and with a new haircut. She's got the short haircut. And I must say that it's a certain part I don't know, there was a stud lesbian vibe to her at one point in the movie. I don't know if that was intended or not, but there was. I don't know if it was the short haircut. I don't know what it was. Something about her at one point seemed to be less feminine. I prefer strong feminine characters like Wonder Woman and Black Widow. I don't know, something was a little bit, but it wasn't too off-putting for me. It was just kind of like, she seemed a little studdish to me. But at the end of the movie, in the big fight scene, Thanos is about to be ripped apart by the Scarlet Witch. She is fucking him up. I was cheering for that. I was like, get him, girl. Whoop his fucking ass. He could not deal with her. She's about to rip him apart. And he told them rain fire. So his ship just started shooting at everything, which got him loose. And then at this shooting, the ship changes its sights from shooting at everyone fighting on the ground to shooting at something that just entered the atmosphere. And it was her. And she comes through, busts his ship all the fuck up, flying through it and everything. And then she comes down and she fights him. And she's getting with him. He tries to headbutt her. Boom, at one point, does nothing. And he was able to get rid of her. And you don't see her for the rest of the movie, I think, until the end. By taking a stone, the power stone, I believe, out of the gauntlet and punching her. That's how he got rid of her. So I don't have a problem with Captain Marvel if I'd seen her in this movie first, but she wasn't likable in her movie. I didn't really care for her, and as you guys know, I hated the movie. But I have nothing against Brie Larson whatsoever, and whatever. I just hope everything works out in the future, because I'm still a Marvel fan. I'm still a superhero fan. I do not have any burnout. like some people are having for superhero movies. I love them, and I want them to continue. And yes, I did hear that the Russo said that they're done with Marvel for the foreseeable future. That don't mean shit. We all know that they may come back. They said for the foreseeable future, so they've got other projects right now. They may come back. Who knows? They've done a great job. And if this is the last movie that they ever do, I'm okay with that. For Marvel, at least. Now, let's talk about other things. I'm going to be all over the place, so just sit back, relax, pop your popcorn, and watch me. Hulk. Some people may be mad about Hulk. Hulk is Professor Hulk in this movie. They do not show how he becomes Professor Hulk, which did not bother me, but it was one of those things in the back of my head where I was like, we had found out how he did it or how he became, saw the arc or the story of how he became, but whatever. I thought the CGI was done really well with him the majority of the time. But it was just like he was smaller than the normal Hulk, but he was still green and cut as hell and strong. But, you know, he had Banner's mind, so he was not in any way really angry at all. You saw him, you know, throw one fit of anger, I think, at one point where he threw a bench after being angry about Black Widow dying. But yes, he did wear the Infinity Gauntlet. He did the snap to bring everybody back. It fried his arm, but it didn't take it off. He's still fucked up. He still got it, but it fried his arm. The Iron Man Infinity Gauntlet, which I hope they make because I'm going to buy it. And I will do an unboxing, so make sure you're watching. And if you haven't seen the biggest video on my channel, it is my Infinity Gauntlet unboxing. Make sure you watch that. So Hulk was okay for me. I preferred every other version of Hulk in all the movies than this one. I did. It was a low point for me. But like I said, everything else negates, you know, things I didn't like. Speaking of Black Widow, yes, she died. It was one of the moments where I cried. That rhyme, don't hate to play the game. Bars! I love Black Widow. I've always loved Black Widow. Since I saw her in Iron Man 2. I had a little crush on her in Iron Man 2. I love that spirally red hairdo that she has. And I've loved her ever since. And I believe she should have had a solo movie by now. But when it came to getting the Soul Stone, she gave her life so that Ronin could get the stone. They fought each other for a second, you know, a little bit of their friendly banter type thing, trying to kill themselves. You know, he wanted to sacrifice himself. She wanted to sacrifice herself. You know, she got the best of it, and she died. She dropped and she fell. So it was one of the moments where I cried. I was like, damn, this is fucking me up. So, another thing, Ronin. Ronin was cool. I liked him. He was badass in this. They finally gave Hawkeye the edge that I think he deserved. But I've always liked the Hawkeye, but he's always felt like the redheaded stepchild of the Avengers, at least in the movies he has. So he had plenty of, you know, he had a few kick-ass moments, and he did his thing, and I like that version of him. I really do. Nick Fury comes back at the very end. You do see him at the very end at the funeral scene. I told you to be random. I'm all over the place. The first moment where I cried was when Fat Thor saw his mom again. That was hard for me to deal with, because as you know, that I lost my mom to cancer, and she was my best friend, and she's part of the reason why I do what I do, because I want to make sure that she knows that her son went on to do something with his life, that her death wasn't in vain, that she just didn't raise some guy that didn't do anything. She raised somebody that became somebody. You know what I mean? And when he got to see her again, that fucked me up. Dad, like, just messing with me right now. Like, and they made it kind of funny the way he was talking to her. Like, it was like, you know, she was like, "You're not my Thor." Like, he was like, "Yes, I am." "No, I'm not." I need to talk to you. You know, he was talking to him and everything. And that messed me up. I didn't expect it. It came like, it came out of nowhere for me, And speaking of Thor, a lot of people aren't going to like what they did with him. It kind of bothered me because, I like Thor a lot. And yes, I liked the version of him in Infinity War more than this one. This one had had a lot more in a way, probably because he was fat and dumpy, of the Thor Ragnarok Thor. He was really funny. A lot of people argue that they made him a buffoon and everything, but I think they made up for a lot of that in the end fight with Thanos. He was able to call Mjolnir to him when he was visiting his mom and found out that he was still worthy. So he took that back with him. Okay. Captain America. The time that I was the loudest in the theater, flipping out, losing my goddamn mind, was when Cap wielded Mjolnir. So let me set the tone for you. Thanos is fighting Tony, Cap, and Thor all at the same time. Personally, I think Thor could handle him by himself with both hammers, but I think the fact that he was fat, out of shape Thor, the other two were needed type of thing. And Thor, I guess you could say he almost perished. Thanos got the best of him and he turned Stormbreaker on him. He was pushing it into his chest. And all of a sudden you see Mjolnir start to rise. Now when I was in the theater, I thought Thor was calling Mjolnir to him to help, you know what I mean? Like he had a hand free or something like that. No. Boom! Busts the fuck out of Thanos. And then it goes to Cap. And I was like, oh my God! And Cap was like, coming at him, whooping his ass. To me, it's the best part of the fucking movie. It literally is the best part. Is the most fulfilling, heart-filling, satisfying moment of the film to me as a Marvel fan. It is. And Cap did his shit. He did his shit. I loved it. Absolutely loved that scene. And Cap also fought himself while they were time traveling to, because he got caught. They were all trying to get a hold of the time stone. I mean, not the time stone, the stones. And he had to fight himself, which was a pretty good fight. I thought that was good. And in the end, he went to return all the stones to their proper timeline. But instead of coming back, he decided to live his life out with Peggy, which was satisfying to see him happy like that. And he was sitting on a bench, old as hell, and he gave Falcon the shield. So now we have a new Captain America. Yes, I know Bucky was Cap first, but that's the way they're deciding to go with it. And in a lot of the directions that they're deciding to go with certain things, I'm not really mad at, because look, we all know a fully powered Thor could have handled all these situations by himself. He doesn't need the Avengers. From the comics, a fully powered Thor does not need any help. He could have taken care of the invasion in the first Avengers movie all by himself. He could have taken care... Yeah, all by himself. And I'm not going to go down the line, but we know how powerful Thor is, okay? So things are different than they are from the comics. We all know this, but I know when people nitpick, they're like, oh man, well, Bucky was Cap for... yeah, I know. And Thor could handle the whole invasion by himself. So you know what I mean? There's a lot of things that's different. Tony wasn't the centerpiece in the comics of everything with the Avengers. You know what I mean? Like, Robert Downey Jr. made him extremely popular from his portrayal of him in the movie. So anyway, Thanos ended up getting to their time because he hitched a ride through their time machine through the old nebula being connected to our nebula, I guess you could say. Their minds are connected. She kept glitching and showing memories of the good nebula that we know now. So he was able to get her to infiltrate and beat up the good nebula and switch head plates and all this stuff to fool the Avengers, and she pulled him through, and that's how, things basically erupted at the end. Let's see, who else? Spider-Man, of course, comes back with everybody else once Hulk did the snap. That was the third time that I cried because of how happy Tony was to see him. So you got two moments of, in a way, well, actually, no. Thor seeing his mother was bittersweet. It was like I was happy for him, but at the same time, I knew how he felt because she's dead and he wanted to see her again. Black Widow dying, that was sad. Tony seeing Peter again and hugging him because Peter didn't understand, like, wow. You could see the look on Tony's face of how happy he was because he felt he had failed, So it was like, wow, he really does care about the kid. He really, really cares about the kid. So, that made me cry. That wasn't like a, but that was more of a like, yeah, type of cry. The fight is at the end of the movie is epic. It's epic. That last just hour of the movie, whether you thought the beginning started slow and that it was boring, it's just the best hour of superhero movie perfection that you'll ever want to see. Yes, are there holes in the plot? Possibly. And the story, yes. Is there, politics in it? Yeah, a wee bit. At the end, all the women get together at one point. Because Captain Marvel was pushing her way through to get to Thanos, or take the Infinity Gauntlet and trying to give it to Ant-Man or something like that. And Black Panther's head warrior guard, I keep forgetting her name, she's like, she's got help, so all the girls get together and it's kind of like, oh, okay, girl power, female feminist power moment. I let it go. I was having too much fun, but I did notice it. Like, I literally noticed it. I was like, I was just like, whatever. I was having too much fun for that to really take me out of the movie. Let's see, what else? What am I missing? No post-credit scenes whatsoever. Tony has a daughter. Pepper wears her suit, since she's involved in the battle. Let's see here, what else? There's some callbacks to other movies. Tony gets to meet his father and talk to him, and at the end, you can tell at the end of his meeting, he has a good feeling about his father again. Like, he understands his father more. You can tell, and he knows how much his father loved him. We went back in time. I think that is about it. Before I talk about the part that made me cry the most. Tony dying. Oh man, that fucked me up. Because I was so wrapped up in the snap of when, because everybody keeps doing it. I am Iron Man. So that got rid of Thanos and all his whole army. And, you're all happy. You're like, oh, they won. And then, cool, only Black Widow died. It's like, oh, cool. But then it's like, oh, shit, wait a minute. You start to realize how damaged he is. And then it's like, oh, no. Fuck. And, you know, Pepper's talking to him and she's crying and she's telling him that we won and he can rest now. And what bothered me, it just, yeah, and Peter was like, Mr. Stark, we won and this and that. And like Tony's so out of it and he's gone. Like he's mentally gone. Like he kind of pays attention and she's like talking to him. She's like, look at me, like he's trying to, but he can't. He's, oh man. Killed me. And you know, because Tony's so funny that, you know, I don't know, he's such a relaxed character. The comedic presence that he has and the charisma and everything with him. I don't know, with him dying, I just didn't expect to cry like that over him. You know, like, but I did. I was like, wow. And a lot of this movie, you realize how much these characters mean to you, man. You realize just how much they mean to you. You really do. You've connected with them over these 20-some-odd movies, and it's just like, wow. Wow. You know? So, I guess that's about it right now for my spoiler talk. I'm going to do a live spoiler talk so that all of you can talk about the things that you feel I may have missed or things that were important to you that you may want me to expand on. Oh, Hail Hydra. Loved that moment with Cap. Fucking loved it. Loved it. The crowd was clapping and laughing their asses off. Oh, I love that part, man. Like, there's a lot of parts in the movies. It was like, yo, this is funny. That's a callback. That was a callback to, you know, the other movie. And, you know, when Hulk meets the first Sorcerer Supreme, the chick, you know, that was like a callback to, because she knocked Banner out of the Hulk's body because he just tried to take the time. So I'm surprised he did that. Surprised he didn't try to explain to her or what was going on, type of thing. You know what I mean? Loved Ant-Man in it. Growing big as hell. Crushing that dude in the battle. Loved that, man. No, he didn't go up Thanos' ass. Y'all can stop making that corny, played out joke. It was funny the first time I heard it. Not the 500th time for all of you posting in the comment section that think you're the first person to make that joke. But, yeah, I'm trying to think. Everybody got reunited. It was a really happy ending, pretty much, except for, you know, Tony dying and Widow dying. And, you know, it was a nice wrap-up to everything, I think. You know, I have no idea how Captain Marvel is going to become the face because they sure as hell didn't set her up to be the face in the movie with the way they did things. So it could have been a response to Backlash, or maybe the Russos never did film more scenes or a different movie just in case. Who knows? We'll see. Can't trust what people say, because even when people say something about a movie, even whether it's the directors or the stars, sometimes they're swerving us. And so who knows? Doesn't matter to me. I just hope the next phase is going to be just as glorious as this one, because it's going to be hard to top. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you all thought. No, there was no Logan. And if you enjoy... But I do think there was... Was that Quicksilver at the end of the movie? Was that Quicksilver standing there? I thought that... Well, who was that? I thought that was Quicksilver from the X-Men movies. I was like thrown off. Who was that guy? Y'all know who I'm asking about. Who the fuck was that? They showed him like right before they show Captain Marvel standing near the house. Okay. I think that's about it. Yeah. 10 million subscribers. Woo!
You may now subscribe.